relic of the times.
Today is a beautiful November day. I have Brad along, who's down there already swinging away from Green Mountain Metal Detecting, and we're up here in gorgeous Vermont, where a friend of mine has actually done some research on a piece of property that holds a few cellar holes, and one in particular is right behind me. The research that we've looked into, it dates back anywhere to the very late 1700s into the early 1800s. Possible history: Freemasonry, Civil War, who knows what else. Down below is a pasture land, which is pretty thick right now, and unfortunately during the summertime the beavers dammed up the little stream that is down yonder, and it's all since flooded out, so we won't be making our way into there. However, as you can look around, we've got quite a bit of land to cover this morning. It was very nice of my buddy Glenn to be able to give us a ride out here this morning and show us around. Quite warm compared to what it's been the last few days this week. I think the highs today are topping out around 38-40 degrees, which is fairly nice considering that it was in the teens and 20s earlier this week. As you can see, Brad is out there already running around trying to find some relics in lost history. I'm going to grab my metal detector. I'm going to join Brad. We're going to go around this area and hopefully we can bring you some good footage. So stay tuned and let's see what the day brings. My first target is right there. And I've only found one other one. I have a broken one as well, but it's an old toe tap. And that's not bad for the first find, first relic, first something of the day. The patent date and everything would have been right there, right above the holes in the center. But as you can tell, it's pretty wiped. I mean, I might be able to clean it up a little bit more and get a date off of that, but I'm not certain that's going to happen. The spot that we're at is, we're pretty certain that no one else has been up here. I mean, the landowners have never allowed anybody else up here any access or granted any permissions, so this could be a very good sign. You're excited?
As I was saying, we had talked about finding stuff of this age, but I hadn't expected we'd find one right away like this. That's the shape of a shoe buckle, 100%. And it was not deep. It was like, I thought it was going to be a bullet in this fallen tree here, but it was almost right on the surface.
Let's see that bad boy. Now if you can find the frame.
Yes.
That's very cool.
We were talking about the history of this place being mostly mid-late 1800s. So finding something mid to late 1700s is very morale boosting. Shoe buckle fragments, that's a good sign.
Cellar holes right here. And as Brad works that side of the cellar hole, I've come over here and I believe there is a structure here as well. I mean, this goes that way. There's a big apple tree right on the side of it, and it cuts back this way as well. However, I've been working around this a little bit and I got a nice little mid-tone and that popped out of the ground. Now it's nothing fancy, and I don't believe there's any design on it whatsoever, so it's just going to be your generic flat button without shank. As you can tell, there is nothing on it. I mean, it could have had a pattern at one point, but just all those years in the ground have destroyed it. No shank, unfortunately, but it's what we're after. So I literally just dug that button right there. I put my headphones back on, I took one swing, and I just pulled out that. I'm not sure if it's a match or not. I'm going to have to look. It doesn't look like it is. I believe this one's a little bit smaller. But that's another flat button. And I can't tell if the shank is there, so it looks like it is. Let me give it a quick field clean and I'll be right back. And here that one is all cleaned up. It doesn't look spectacular at first, but the really cool thing about this, which I thought was dirt, that's actually still some cloth attached to this button right there. That's not dirt. Nice thick wool, and I'm sure it kept people warm while they were out here during these fall months into the winter. I'm pretty happy. I just popped that guy right out of the ground. And at first glance, I didn't think anything too special of it. However, you can definitely tell based on that little hump there and one right down here. It's an old buckle frame. And talked to Brad about it a little bit. And based on how thin that is and kind of how frail it could have been, you know, kicking around on someone's shoes or boots back in the day, we were almost wondering maybe that went on a hat. I guess there's really no way of ever really telling, but it is a buckle frame for sure, and that's colonial, that I would guess. So, very awesome. We're still finding stuff, and we have plenty of daylight left to continue. I'm going to put this away and keep on swinging. Right in the spot that I just cleared off there, got a nice solid mid-tone. So let me grab the shovel and we'll go in together. I'm guessing it wasn't as deep as I thought it was. Oh, and just like that, check this out. I don't know what's in there, but that's a good sign. The old porcelain. Of course, that's not going to register on my metal detector, but pretty neat to find. Let me throw that in the pocket real quick. Let's go after what I was looking for here. I believe it's out of the plug. Ah, unfortunately. As you heard in the background, all those gunshots going off. That's all that is. Oh well, better luck next time.
So I just got a pretty nice target. Ed was over there calling a colonial copper. I thought maybe I was going to have his copper over here, but wound up being an iron stirrup. Never found one before. Knock all these iron nodules off here and get it cleaned up. And
oh, that's a beautiful one, man.
It's not bent up or anything.
That's awesome.
Simple thing, but you know, a relic of the times.
You said that was your first one you've ever found?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, killing it with the iron stuff today.
Yep. There's a lot of it. Well, way down there, popped something that I thought was actually a square nail. However, after closer examination of it, I don't believe that's what that is. And to be very honest, I have absolutely no idea what this is. The first thing that came to my mind was either, you know, a latch or maybe a drawer pull, but it tapers off down to this end and it's pretty wide down here, and as you can tell, it's broken. If you know and can help me out, I'd greatly appreciate it. Right there is the rim of the cellar hole, and I've hopped down here to the lower half, and after messing around in the plug for a while, I was able to find that beauty. It's a nice old flat button, and from what I saw, yep, there it is. The shank is intact. That's dating probably early to mid 1800s, maybe a little bit later. It's another relic for the day. I'm on a streak. Let's see if it continues. And here's an interesting relic. Well, not really too interesting. I mean, we find a lot of them around here, but it's a very clean horseshoe. It's very cool, and I like them when they come out that clean, because a little bit of tender love and care, and that's a beautiful piece to hang up for good luck right above your doorway. Very cool to find. It's an old axe head. Usually when they come out of the ground, they're pretty beat up, rusted, and just have all kinds of crud and everything built up on them over the years. But as you can tell, that one is gorgeous. So that's going to go into my backpack and make its way out of here with me along with the other stuff. I'm going to keep on moving. As you can see, I'm still working just below the lip of the cellar hole here. And now I just found this, an old suspender clasp. And it's quite fragile. As you can see, it's broken right there and pretty flimsy. So I'll put it away in a safe spot and hopefully not break it anymore. So I've scanned a pretty good chunk of this land with Brad. I mean, we've been to the left, to the right, down beyond, up above where we're standing. And I come back to the cellar hole. I'm going to swing a little bit slower, change some of my settings to see if I can get into any relics. I mean, we're pulling up a lot of iron parts and pieces of tin and what have you. Thing I wanted to show, and I know that I've talked about this before in another video, are these wells. Now, to the naked eye, just walking through, looks like a pile of rocks. And coming on through, hunter not paying attention, hikers, whatever, and that can ruin your day right there. There is no telling how far down that goes. We did shove a stick in there, and it doesn't make its way too far down, but that doesn't mean that that's going to hold anybody's body weight. So you always want to be careful out here while you're investigating these old home sites, and that's a prime example as to why. Well, I've come up to the center chimney mast here, in the center of the cellar hole, and I had a really good tone right there. And I mean, the ground is pretty frozen, as you can tell. It's all just crystalled up with ice and solid. But I worked my way down, and lo and behold, it wouldn't be an episode without one of those. And I cannot believe two things: the size of that and how small that oxen shoe is, and the fact that I just found it right here, dead center, in the middle of the cellar hole, right where the chimney would have been. And you can see the bricks and everything that go along with it. I guess that completes my dig right there. The rest of the day, if I find anything, it's just a bonus. Day's winding down. The sun is about to kiss the horizon, and that means it's going to be dark soon. I'm going to make my way down and check in with Brad, see how he's done for the day. I came back up to where the cellar hole is sitting, and he went down that way. Down where there's some old barn foundations and whatnot. It gets really thick down there, so I decided to hang out up here while he went down that way. Hopefully he's on some good relics. If not, then we did the best we could. We were able to pull up some horse tack. I got a couple buttons. the suspender clasp. I did find that oxen shoe, which is absolutely odd to have found it where I found it, right dead center of the chimney mound in the cellar hole. I'm gonna grab my detector and my shovel. I'm gonna make my way down this trail here. I'm gonna try to meet up with him about halfway down to where we need to walk to get back to our vehicles, and see what he's got. Well, Brad, it was a day.
It was a day. It was the first day that I've been out this year where it's been like a little bit cold. You know, like my fingers were a little bit numb. But it was a great day. We didn't find a ton of like valuable stuff, but the things we found can be, you know, related directly to the people who lived here. I found that this is probably one of my favorite things I found. This is my first stirrup. I'm sure there's some people out there that can tell the difference between like a military or a civilian and all that stuff. I think this is probably just a civilian stirrup. And I got a couple spoons. What else did I stick in here? I got one of these giant shards of pottery.
Yeah, we were finding that everywhere, huh?
I thought it was kind of interesting because it has like a strange like scalloped pattern to it. I don't know. And then my little box. Stuck. Just has a little shoe buckle piece and a little parasol top and a little piece of lead pipe.
Very cool.
Oh, and my gun part. Jeez, is that not in there anymore?
Yeah, after looking at this one a little bit more, I'm
is.
thinking that that's what that is. I mean, there's always a chance we're wrong, but that's pretty
that's
cool.
what it is.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's...
A flintlock.
Yeah, that and the stirrup is pretty cool, pretty cool.
So just like that, another day is complete. We're gonna gather up our items. We're gonna walk on back down the trail, and we're gonna call it a day. But Brad, I want to thank you very much for coming out again. It was a pleasure.
Thanks again for the invite.
I'm sure we'll see this guy again. We have some plans to hit some other cellar holes that are up here on the property sometime in the near future.
Hopefully we don't get a foot of snow next week.
Hopefully no snow comes this year. It happens though. That's New England for you. So we're gonna do the best we can to keep getting out. I'm gonna keep bringing you guys a lot of footage and hopefully some more episodes throughout the winter. If you don't see any, that's because we're not out digging. So as always, thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate it. If you haven't yet already subscribed, please do so below. And until next time, happy hunting.